so many factors that contribute to your performance on track. And if you're running around in a shit box, and we've all been there, but when you actually get behind the wheel of something half respectable, half decent, there's still luck as a factor. I used to hate when my old man used to say, good luck. I was like, no, I'll make my own luck. And then at a certain point, I was like, you know what? Luck is actually a factor here, whether you care to admit it or not. Yeah. There are things that are out of your control, and you want to control every variable you possibly can, but for every variable you control, there's 100 others that are just, tell me about your weekend up in Hidden Valley, mate.
Yeah, it's a perfect example. As you say, I'm the same. Like, I hate using it as an example. We had shit luck. But as you say, when you put everything in to make sure the car's perfect and everything's happening, then you have like a mechanical failure as an example. And you're like, but we checked that part. That was flawless.
But even race 2 for you, mate. I watched very closely over that weekend. Like, you had a bit of luck.
Got back into a regional
It was
spot.
a bloody disaster. Like, there was just... It was chaos.
Oh yeah.
And you somehow got through, and then you got shafted, and then you bumped back up again. Yeah. There's just so much that goes into it. But it's also kind of what we love about the sport as well. It's
brutally, yeah.
I think
I don't know why we always come back keen. Like, you come back for more every time. Like glutton for punishment.
I know.
Yeah.
It's something wrong with us.
There's definitely something wrong with all of us, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Just back on the medical car driving stuff, Carlos. I was lucky enough to get a lift from the Melbourne GP last year, the year before with you, and you had the doctors with you in the car. You guys were heading to your hotel, and I was driving out. You were giving me a lift to my car.
Yep.
Just talk us through who's in the medical car with you and the information that they've got and what you're actually doing in the event of a crash. Like, who you got with you? What are you up to?
A good question. So we have 2 doctors in the car. There's the FIA doctor who sits up front with me, and there's actually 3 doctors in circulation, so to speak, at the moment. There's Dr. Ian Roberts. He's been doing the medical car role for 11 seasons now, I'm guessing 11 or 12. So he's part of the furniture as well, knows it through and through. But in the last couple of years, probably since COVID, frankly, they've had this realization that there's a bit of a redundancy issue in that if Ian got sick or turned up, had COVID at the time, for argument's sake, who's going to replace him? Who knows exactly how to do his role?
Yeah.
So there's 2 other doctors that have jumped on board, and they split the role the season. And it's a long season. Like, you talk about burnout, over the course of a season. I don't know how these guys do 24 races. I did the first 9 straight. By the end of it, I just wanted to disappear. I love what I do, don't get me wrong, and this is such a first world problem, but I wanted to disappear for a month off the back of it. And I still turn on the TV though, and I'm again glad still watch the races. But
you're probably partying harder than those boys too.
Oh, look, you got to give it a nudge, mate. You got to give it a nudge. So we've got 2 extra doctors now. We've got a Hungarian doctor, Laszlo Hetzman, and an American doctor based out of Colorado now, James Kemperman. And they're all ripping blokes. The sense of team that we've got, it's like a race team for both of you. It's like having a teammate that you get on well with. You kind of look after each other. The only difference is there's no sense of competition between the 2 of you. But the trust... we always talk about trust in any relationship, but with what we're doing, we talk about the risks of what the drivers are going through. They're exposing themselves to, but there's also an element of risk that we're exposing ourselves to as well. If I think back to the Australian Grand Prix last year, George Russell had that flip on the second last lap at turn 8? 7.
That's right. Yeah, we're screaming for the red flag.
Screaming for the red flag. And we get deployed onto a live racetrack. And this is, I'm going on a tangent here, which I will probably do a lot tonight.
We do it all.
I love that because, I want the listeners to know exactly what's going on out there because it's not as easy as it looks on TV. The medical car rolls out.
So we're positioned at pit exit ordinarily, 90% of the time. Most circuits we go to pit exit. The engine is idling the entire time, the entire race. We've got 5-point harness on, race seat, helmets on, mic'd up, direct comms to race control. And we're just sitting there. We've got information. We've got a couple of monitors with a live feed, GPS data. We've got a track map with every location of every car on track, including medical and safety car. And accident data, we've got something called the ADR, which is when an accident happens, that information streams immediately via telemetry to our car. So we know it'll say car 18, and then it'll give a threshold, like, was it 30G, was it 37G, was it 15G? It'll give us a report above 9G, but we don't bother doing anything unless it's 15 or above, basically. I think there's a requirement that they've got to see a doctor if it's above 15G, but most of them now, they'll walk away from a 30G accident. And then the key thing is with that, it's just a number. Yep. The accelerometer is in the car itself. So the car can cop a 30G shunt, which seems like a big shunt. And this is probably a good, what's the big, we've all had recorded accidents. What's the biggest shunt you've had?
I've had a couple at 52 and 54.
That's big, mate. What about you?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know?
No. The cars I've shunted big time weren't...
Smooth as butter. He's never crashed before. He's never made a mistake.
I've crashed plenty of times, but I just don't know how many G it was.
I think I've had a couple of in the 40s, but no, I've never exceeded 50. But even though the car
depends on what you hit, I think.
But this is the thing.
Bathurst hitting, I had the steering fail at the Great, and that was over 50, I think, because it was concrete and it was side on, whereas the G, I had the Tasmania crash. That was only 30.
Yeah.
So that looked more spectacular, but because you have the crumple zone in the front, so I think depending on where you hit, it can absorb quite a bit of the impact before you feel it.
Mate, you've absolutely hit the nail on the head, and it does come down to how they hit. The accelerometer can provide a number, but it is just a number. If they go in front, back, if it's vertical, like quite often, it's really common in open wheelers to have compression fractures of the lower...
From going backwards.
More from when they clip a wheel, they go up and they slap back down. Yep. When you slap back down in open wheeler, when you're in that awkward, you've driven plenty of open wheelers, your feet are up in the air just about, you get a compression fracture. So compression fractures of vertebra is really, really common. So it can be seemingly, and we've had plenty of accidents where a driver has needed some sort of medical attention and they haven't actually tripped the threshold. Like it could be just a copper hit to the head even with a halo, like things can sneak through the halo. Maybe something gets in their eye. And then some of the most spectacular ones that you see, I think about, everyone talks about rollovers and how spectacular. You think about Fab's accident at Bathurst, which is the one that gets played over and over again. You had that big one at Barbagallo, going down the hill. That was quite a big one as well. They look spectacular. But you're slowly kind of dissipating energy in a rollover. So shit's flying off everywhere. But the worst thing, the ones that hurt the most, as we can all attest to, is when you hit something inanimate with some velocity. So we get that information when we're sitting there. But full circle back to what I was talking about, the trust that we have amongst ourselves. So my role when we get deployed, so using that George one as an example, second last lap, and I'm end of the race. I'm starting to think about cracking open one of these things. Celebrating the race is over. And bloody George goes and ruins it all.
How dare he?
You'll blame Fernando. He copped a penalty for that one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Brake checking or something. Right. I think that was questionable, but anyway, just my opinion.
Controversial, Karl.
I know.
I agree. I think he checked him up.
Yeah, but... anyway, whatever. Fernando's one of the best drivers on the grid and an all-round good bloke.
Oh, wait, so you don't think he did check him up?
I think he did.
Yeah.
But I think George didn't handle it that well.
I don't think he... I think he...
Fernando did it on purpose.
He outsmarted him.
Yeah, he outsmarted him. And George, in his, call it inexperience, compared to the likes of Fernando, just flipped out and went wide, tripped over and ended up rolling. So we get deployed and I'm going onto a live racetrack. And this is one of those surreal moments for me. So they'll go standby medical car and I'm in gear, lights are on, I'm ready to basically launch control from pit exit. They go deploy medical car and I know nothing other than what I've seen on the screens at this point. So they deploy us and then they give us a location, corner number, driver's left, driver's right, and how many cars are involved and any other information that could assist us before we get there. So we get to the scene and we already have a lot of information. We've got the accident data, we've got the corner number, how many cars are involved, whether the driver's moving or not. They'll tell us, as we're approaching. So we lose the feed as soon as we leave. We've got a wireless signal where we're positioned at pit exit. Yeah. So for that one,
don't have KO or anything?
His phone's on the dash. He's got a quad lock mount.
You need a quad lock.
I need a quad lock mount so I can get onto a KO. I need a good VPN though as well when I'm overseas so I can keep the KO alive. So I get to the scene and you're seeing this accident like for the first time and you're trying to make sense of it. There's no guidebook that you can read. Like you've just got to think, you've got to make quick decisions and good decisions immediately, and so much to consider, like how close do you park to the car? Your car acts as a block to, it protects the doctors that are getting out of the car. But if there's risk of fire, you don't want to be too close. And I've got all sorts of equipment in the back of the car. We've got, jaws of life, as they're affectionately known. They're the cutting devices, Halmatro. So they will literally cut through the titanium halo if we needed to. They'll cut through Armco. They'll cut through pretty much anything. And we've got fire extinguishers in the back. We've got 2 different types of extinguishers, one for the driver, one for the car. Electrical safety equipment, because the cars are all hybrid. They're 1,000-volt systems now. So we need to protect ourselves first and foremost. So I turn up at the scene. So I leave pit exit and I'm on a live Formula One race. It's, I exit... I go through turn 1, turn 2, check my rear vision mirrors, and Oscar's behind me. I've got this bright orange McLaren in my rear vision mirrors.
And you started pulling away, didn't you?
I did, mate. I did.
You dropped him.
It's all that practice curb striking at Silverstone.
Exactly. But then you've got to ask yourself the question: do you let them by or not? I've got to give them the green light, like what Bert does when there's when he's got to wave people through. And sometimes they don't even. Sometimes they just dive bomb you. And the crazy thing is about F1s. You can look in your rear vision mirror and have nothing there, and then 2 seconds later you look and they're on your bumper. Like you cannot believe how fast they are. And we're not fucking around. Like you're doing
200 yourself.
At Baku in the Aston last year, hit 275 kilometers an hour down the straight at Baku. It's Monaco's slow. Did Monaco? I've done 2 or 3 years on the trot at Monaco. It's amazing circuits like Spa. We're 250k an hour depending on the car. We're not messing around. So there's a lot of decisions you've got to make quickly, and then you get around the corner and you finally get the vision of the incident. You see George upside down. There's shit everywhere. There's debris. There's marbles on the track, but at the same time, it's a live race. It hasn't been red flagged, so I've got awareness of if it's a red flag situation or double waved yellows, and it's just double waved yellows at this stage. So I'm starting to think about, okay, there's live cars that are on the track that are going to pass us. So I've got to position the car in a way that protects the scene so the doctors can get out safely, but I don't want to block the track at the same time. I want to get close enough, but not too close. And this is all happening in the 10th of a second.
As you're approaching it.
So I park up in a way, I angle the car in a way that protects the docs. They get out of the car, George gets out, we take him off to the medical centre, but I jump out of the car as well. Sometimes I'll get out to help if it's a rapid extrication or if there's some sort of communication issue or whatever. You've just got to think quickly. Sometimes I'll just stay in the car for a quick getaway. But I'm standing there with my door open. And even though the F1 cars it must have been a VSC, so they're at, was it 60% pace? But 60% pace through turn 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Mate, they're coming past me at, 170 kilometres an hour, like this far away from me. So you've got to have very clear thinking, basically.
Yeah. Well, and they have hit medical cars in the past.
Oh, back in Brazil, I think it got hit, and one fenced it at Monaco, 20 years. It's been a long time, but and
we all know as race car drivers, you race to the safety car line, you race to pit lane, and if even the VSC, you're making sure you make up the time where you can. Like when they put the 80k into supercars, you're trying to do 80k through the corner because. So in a corner that's a 50, you're trying to get as close to 80 as you can. So you're always still trying to chase lap time.
You can get a gain.
If you can get a gain anywhere, they're trying to get it.
100%. You're still competing at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you have to maximize everything you've got. So I put myself in their shoes and completely get it. But it's not until afterwards that you reflect on